we got a rapper, Houston-based rapper, originally from Detroit, goes by the name of BTB Savage. So apparently, this guy 2 months ago gets into an altercation that ends in somebody trying to rob him and losing their life. Apparently, so the story goes, as told by himself, he gets on a Vlad TV interview and lays out the scene to where he's up and coming rapper out of Houston. Couple guys hit him up for a feature, and they say, "Hey, we want to lock this in right now, right here, right now." And he's contemplating going back and forth. Should I just meet them tomorrow, do that studio? Should I just do it tonight? It's late at night. He says it's like 10, 11 at night.
Because he's chasing that bag.
Because he's chasing the bag. And on the interview, he says, "Hey, I was just money hungry. And I'm just taking it. Like, I want the bag." So he said, tells complete strangers to pull up to his house, and we're going to knock this feature out. And after a while, they show up. He says he goes outside. There's a car full of people, 4 people or whatever it is, right? So he says 2 hop out, and he's like, "Oh, I think they're just dropping them all." So probably to his knowledge, he just thinks the other 2, whoever dropped them off, they probably left. They probably gonna pick them up later. But they come in the house, and he's immediately alarmed because they start looking around his apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's weird.
So they're kind of sizing him up, and he's feeling his energy. And I guess a couple minutes into it, the rapper says he wants his feature from him. Says, "I need to go back out to the car. I forgot something." So on his way out, he says he locks both locks behind him. The guy who's left, he pulls some money out of his pocket, say, "Hey, bro, we not on that. You don't need to lock the door." Blah blah blah. But then proceeds to start asking him about his career. And then he starts asking about his chains. He said the chain around his neck. "Hey, how much that chain worth?" He says he goes to pick up the chain. He said, "Yeah, I spent a little bag on it." So as he picks up the chain, the dude ups the pole on him. So pulls the gun out on him, and then they get into a physical altercation that ends in his girlfriend not only shooting this guy 3 times, but also shooting him by accident, trying to stop this guy from robbing them, from hurting them, and also his sons in the other room sleep because it's late at night at this point. If it started at 10, 11 p.m., it's probably 12, 1 o'clock in the morning from what you could take from it. So not only is he shot in his arm, shot in the elbow by accident, she shoots him. So his arm is completely disabled. He can't use it. He shot 3 times, and he eventually, the guy who tries to rob him, dies, succumbs to his wound. And then the people with him see that all this is going on, and they're shooting through the door. It's a whole melee. It's a whole scene, right?
Right.
And this is 2 months ago, but fast forward to now. 4 days ago, a Vlad TV interview comes out where he's kind of antagonizing people. So the guy that tried to rob him and died, he's getting on him saying he wasn't really like that. He was doing all the shooting while I was in the crib while we're in a physical altercation. But he didn't shoot me. I just got accidentally shot by my girl. And then the people that are with him, they're soft. They're all this. They're not on that because they're shooting through the door, but then they left him to die. So that is 4 days go by. And as of yesterday at 4:10 p.m., he posted a picture, and we can't bring it up on the screen because it's too graphic for YouTube. But if y'all search it up, BTB Savage, y'all be able to see this. He posted a picture in front of his apartment door with the bullet holes through the door, blood everywhere, literally blood spattered everywhere. He's got the brace on from him getting shot, and he just puts the caption, "Too much emotion." This is posted at 4:10 p.m., and by 6 o'clock, he leaves his house, and he gets killed, presumably or allegedly by the same people that are probably associated to the guy that got killed. I mean, brand new Mercedes, all white with the black rims, all stuff. I mean, full of bullets, Swiss cheese. I mean, hundreds of bullets, and he's laid out in a blanket. Cops stand over him, news reporters and everything. And it's real to say, like, these, not only rappers, but a lot of people that are popular on social media, like, this is a precautionary tale because y'all are playing a dangerous game out here.
A very dangerous game.
Very
dangerous.
Y'all are sitting around antagonizing people. Like, we've seen this thing with 6ix9ine that it goes years and years and years. 4 years after the incident. And you finally catch up to you. And thankfully, he didn't lose his life because they whooped him bad in that gym. They're stomping on his head, stomping on his ribs. It's people that die from stuff like this, and then unfortunately, condolences to BTB Savage and his family because not only him but two people lost their life.
Right.
One trying to
Trying
rob
to rob
somebody,
him.
and two antagonize the person that got killed trying to rob you. So now you lose your life, and from what we know, he's a father. Now you have a son
Yeah. Growing up
with
without
no
a
father, a mother growing up without a son, father growing up with a son, all those things. So it's like you really got to be careful what you're doing on this internet.
Yeah. For me, like, it really struck a nerve because ever since I found out that I was having kids, I kind of moved different. So it was like some of the things that I used to do, like being hot-headed, you know, having grudges or animosity towards people. It was just kind of like, you know what, it's not even worth it because it's not even about me anymore. So it was like, okay, I understand, you know, you don't want nobody to think that you sweet. You don't want nobody to try you, whatever the case is. But, like, for me, I just pick and choose my battles. And I just wish more people would just exercise that option because it's like, yo, life is just too short to lose it over something as simple as posting a picture. Now, granted, the guy that broke, you know, that was he didn't even break it. The guy that tried to rob him was wrong. Like, two wrongs don't make a right. I'm going to just say that. Two wrongs definitely don't make a right. But, you know, not even going to just draw this, you know, this whole summary out or my opinion on it out. But, like, we just got to do better, bro, because it's like we was talking about having fame and all that stuff. Like, you got to be careful what you put out on the internet because it's there. Once it's there, it's theirs. No coming back from that. Like, you're just gonna have to deal with the backlash that comes from it. You might be some positive, might be some negative. It's just unfortunate that this particular instance it was very negative because he lost his life. I'm not into the street life. I know what goes into the street life. For lack of, you know, better I don't even know what I want to say.
Better word.
Yeah. I get it, but I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's I mean it's senseless. Like
Yeah.
on both ends for both people.
It's very senseless. Because my thing is, you already have money and you're robbing somebody else that got money. So like, what are you really gaining from that?
Yeah, and it's what you. It's really not what you think. If you could get a chain on somebody, you're not gonna get what the chain's worth or what they bought it for. You're gonna take that thing to a pawn shop and you might get a couple $1,000s. And that's not going to last you anything but a couple of days, especially in today's time, especially somebody that's out here robbing people. Like, you going to blow that.
Man, it's just being a parent now, bro, it's just like I do not want my children to grow up in these type of, you know, environments or situations or whatever the case is because his son was in the house when all this went down.
Yep.
And he could have easily got hit by a stray bullet while he was asleep because in the interview he said his son was asleep the entire time. He didn't wake up until he, you know, was getting ready to go to the hospital. But I don't know, bro. It's tough. Yeah, it's really tough.
It becomes an impossible situation.
Yeah.
It's a situation people just need to avoid out here. Like, if you're doing a social media thing, like, understand for these rappers and social media
presence is everything.
Whatever, they're supposed to, like, the way they get views, the way they get likes is having the money. It's
not
having
worth
the
your
designer.
life.
It's having, like, showing off all these things. It's showing off, oh, I'm standing on my eyes. But is it worth your life?
It's not.
And not only like this, like this, is it worth getting beat up? Is it worth getting robbed? Is it worth your life? Is it worth your kids not having a parent?
Exactly.
Like, is none of it's worth it? And it is what we like to say to the viewership out here. Hey, move on past all this clout, all this social media thing.
It's like, not worth it.
Be you. Don't worry about it. And if what you have to do is showing off chains and designer and money, you attracting the wrong audience anyway.
Right.
So it's like once you see stories like this, it always hits the hardest because you see two sides of the tale where it's like somebody lost their life, but then everybody has to talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's like now everybody's talking about it, and it's not only you anymore because you passed, but it's your family now. Now they have to see everybody talking about you, either good or bad, making fun of you, being on your side, whatever, and especially all the sides are talking negative about you.
Exactly.
And the things you did wrong to get yourself killed. Now it has to be echoed to all whether you got siblings, parents, cousins, children, all that. Now they can't even get away from it. Every time they open up social media,
that's all they see.
They see their dead family member. So for those listening out there, like, hey, like we said, all this uh dissing ops and antagonizing people, like leave it alone. The fame or notoriety or clout that comes with that, it ain't worth it because it ends in things like this. And hopefully it won't end in your life.
Yeah, for sure. Like it was just so much that was done wrong in terms of like him just allowing them to come into his place where he stays or lays his head at, where his girl stay at, where his son stays at. Like it was just so much wrong with that. Just chasing the bag, man. You cannot take that money with you when you die, by any means. So it's like, yo, if you ever get that gut feeling, just go with that gut, man. It's really not worth $5,000, $10,000, 20. You really can't put a price on your life. So I mean, I just encourage everybody to move cautiously. Like if you have that feeling where something is just not right, just don't do it. Like if you have to second guess doing something, just don't do it, man. Because this is one of those situations where I'm pretty sure everybody's just sitting back like, well, what if we just did this or what if we just did that? So
And with what woulda, shoulda, coulda, you can't never go back.
Nah,
All you can do is
what's
question.
done is done.